10864. Station's your final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
The following is a presentation of Learfield. Welcome to Duck Insider.
Our whole athletic department, there's a level of expectations of success.
Throw, catch, touchdown, Oregon.
He can run and slam.
This is back out for a three. Left wing is good.
In the air to center, back at the wall. It's out of here.
Really excited that we get to rep our Ducks and hopefully come back to Eugene with some championships.
Indoor track and field national champion. And for the fourth time in the last 6 years, the Ducks are Pac-12 champions.
We have so many teams that are excelling right now, and it's really fun to be a part of.
Give it to me, baby. My house. I'm taking it there.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, here's Joey Mack.
Hi, everybody. It's Terry Jonz in for Joey Mack, who's just heading to the airport as we speak and heading down to Los Angeles with Oregon men's basketball. They got a big game against UCLA coming up tomorrow, 6:30. And the pregame show, of course, with Joey Mack at 6 o'clock. I think it's on ESPN. And Dave Pash and what's that guy's name? Yeah, Bill. Bill, right? You always with Dave Pash. Dave, right? I've talked with Dave Pash about that. He actually enjoys working with Bill. He goes, I do so many games. It's kind of refreshing to have somebody different, and he's different. He's different, but yeah, he handles it very, very well. So Joey going to be down in Los Angeles. I'll be here with Scotty the rest of the week here and take you through some Duck Insider. Great interviews today. We'll do some from Tip-Off Tuesday if you missed it, and some from, we'll see. We'll see where we go. Rob Moseley's coming in at about 10 after here, coming up, so we need to get to some interviews right away. But first, want to let you know, men's basketball, of course, in L.A., but their Colorado game is rescheduled. Just announced a short time ago for Tuesday the 25th, and it will be at Matthew Knight, of course, as initially scheduled for Thursday the 30th. And originally rescheduled for January 3rd and has been rescheduled for Tuesday, January 25th, 7 p.m. at Matthew Knight Arena. And tickets and parking purchased for the original date will be valid for the rescheduled date, and the contest will be televised by Pac-12 Network. Of course, Joey Mack will be there as well, and possibility the next night. You heard Coach talking about it in the Tip-Off Tuesday. You hear it coming up here that they're going to be trying to schedule women's games, it looks like, on the Wednesdays if they can. And so the next day, you're possibly going to have a women's game at Matthew Knight. It's going to be busy. It's going to be fun. This is what we like to do. It's what we're all in here doing, right? As let's take a look at the rest of the schedule real quickly. Indoor track and field gets kicking off. Is it kicking off or shooting the gun? Whatever. How you do. Cougar Classic. They'll be in Spokane on Friday. And then, of course, men's tennis Saturday, more track and field, women's basketball Saturday, 2:30. Of course, Arizona, number 7 Arizona, will be in town. And men's tennis, continuing men's basketball Saturday at 8 o'clock. They'll be taking on USC at the Galen Center. By the way, if you're down there, if you're listening and you're in L.A. planning on going to the games, unless you're family, you can't go. It's just family for both of those games at Poly tomorrow night and at the Galen Center. As in California. Went through that with the women at Stanford. Cal allowed some people, but they had them spread out a little bit more at Haas Pavilion. And, of course, Monday, it's UConn in town for the Ducks, the Duck women. And that's going to be fun. Gino Auriemma. And always fun. Hey, whenever you take on UConn, they're a little dinged up. We have been. Nobody's feeling sorry for either one of us. As the Ducks and the Huskies have taken some people down over the years, and they want to get back, and they don't care if you don't have everybody. They really don't. And but that'll be fun. That'll be 2 o'clock and a big Monday on ESPN2, and we'll have all the action for you on the Oregon Sports Network. All right, I want to make sure we have time for Rob when he comes in, so got a chance to have a conversation Zoom-wise with Kylie Watson, the sophomore from Linwood, New Jersey, and it was kind of fun. I tried to get her on Tip-Off Tuesday last year, didn't have time. Things it worked out. You can only get so many in. But I said, I want to get you early this year, so we did. So let's get to know Kylie Watson. All right, Kylie, let's talk about New Jersey. What's Linwood, New Jersey like? I've never been there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot different than Oregon. I think New Jersey as a whole is a lot different than Oregon. But it's just a small town that I grew up in my whole life. It's really close to the beach, which is really nice in the summer. Everyone's super supportive there because our town's probably like 3 miles long at most. So my high school was 3 towns combined because it was so little. But everyone was really supportive, and it kind of really had that family community there that the small towns have.
Yeah, I saw a flyover in a video, and can you see off? Is Atlantic City? Is that what you can see from your city?
Yeah, it's right across the bay. So like our area has like a bunch of creeks and like we call it a creek, but it's really like the back bays. And then if you go over the bridge, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you'll hit Atlantic City, Ocean City, all those islands.
So what is there to do there? Anything? It's like the East Coast Vegas, right? Isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I can't do anything yet over there. I'm sure once I get older I can, but they have like the casinos and I think sports betting now and some clubs, some stuff like that.
And lots of great food, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. If you ever come to New Jersey, you need to try the bagels and the pizza. Really
the bagels and the pizza. All right, I got to remember that. I'm writing that down.
But, not the healthiest food, but it's pretty good.
Oh, you got it. Once out of 3 days you can have it there, something like that. Hey, tell us about your family. I know your dad was in the NFL, a football coach, and your mom was a basketball player and coached you as well.
Yeah, so my dad, he grew up playing football in high school, and then he went to the NFL, and he had a career-ending injury, which was sad. But my mom also played college basketball. She played at Delaware. She grew up playing basketball her entire life. And then she was my assistant coach in high school. She was the freshman coach though. So she kind of just like sat on the bench, didn't really do much for us too much. And then my dad was the head coach of a high school football team up until last year. And now he helps out at where my brother plays high school football now because he had coached at a different school. And then I have 2 younger brothers. I have one that's 16 and one that's 10. So a little guy down there, but they both play football. The youngest one kind of plays football, basketball, so kind of figuring out what he likes the most. But they're awesome. They're really supportive. They're actually coming out here this week, so I'm excited to see them.
Oh, well, great. So how'd you get started in basketball? With mom, you got started, you wanted to? You played other sports too, didn't you?
Yeah, I grew up, I feel like any other kid, kind of just trying out a bunch of different sports. Played soccer up until like maybe middle school, and then I tried volleyball. Wasn't the biggest fan of it my 8th grade year, but I pretty much definitely did not have a choice. I was definitely going to play some sort of sport, with both my parents being athletes, and I was really tall too. My dad's 6'4", my mom's 6 foot, so it kind of just happened to be basketball. And then I did fall in love with the game, and it was really fun. Ever since I was little, they kind of just put a ball in my hands and said, go ahead. But my dad's kind of doing the same thing to my brothers, but with football.
Yeah, he got good practice with you, obviously. Who you room with? You got roommates that are teammates?
I do. So I room with Maddie and Sydney. And then our 4th roommate is actually my cousin who was on the acro and tumbling team here last year.
Ashley.
Yeah, Ashley.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, I remember that. So, who cooks? Who of you guys cook? I know you guys get a lot of meals that you can go get, but you like to cook something up, right?
Yeah, I would say we definitely do not cook that much, if we're being honest. But probably Maddie would cook the most. I don't know if you would want to see me and Sydney in the kitchen. It might be a little scary. But hey, give us some instructions and some focus, and we might be able to do an okay job, but Maddie for sure.
So who's there's always, it's always like kind of odd couple, but there's 4 of you. But, somebody's neat, somebody's not so neat. So who's the neat ones, who's not so neat?
Maddie's definitely the most organized for sure. Like her room's always perfect. She needs to have everything lined up, everything clean, everything like that. And then honestly, the other 3 of us, it depends on the day.
You get the fake apartment, right, or the fake house when visitors come over or parents come, right?
Yeah, looks spotless. Then all of us are the best at keeping it clean.
That's right. Free time. I know you guys do TikToks. You were entertaining us in the Oakland airport yesterday. You and Tahina and some others. I think I saw Niara. Who else was over there? But is that what you guys do in your free time? Is it TikToks? Besides studying, of course. It's not free time, though.
Yes. Aside from school, obviously. Yeah, I mean, I guess we probably do TikToks a decent amount. I mean, we try and learn some dances. At least me and Tahina do a lot. But honestly, just like chilling and sleeping or watching Netflix. We spend a lot, like me and my roommate spend a lot of time just in our living room watching a show. We always try to have like some sort of show that we're invested in whenever we get back from practice and stuff. So just kind of laying low because we are usually either in the gym or at school most of the time.
I wanted to talk about your Team USA experience. When you were younger, you played on, I think, U16, if I'm not sure, something like that, won a gold medal, but you played on the 3-on-3 this year over in France. Talk about that experience.
Yeah, it was two very different experiences for sure. I think the national team the 3-on-3 was serious, but it's mostly on you guys. Like, there's no coach or anything, so it was a lot of just playing, and it's a whole different ball game with the 3x32, but it was really cool meeting. I was able to interact with a lot of the other countries more as well, so that was cool. Like on the last day, I got to meet people from the Netherlands, from Israel, so that was a really cool experience. And then U16, we were also pretty young, so I think we didn't have as much freedom to kind of see. We went to Buenos Aires, so to see that area a little bit, but it was really fun. I met a lot of great people. I played with some amazing players that are killing it now in college, so both experiences were really awesome from a basketball and a social side. It was a really cool thing.
Pretty cool to wear a uniform with USA across the chest, isn't it?
Absolutely. It was awesome. It was an honor.
Picking Oregon, a couple years ago, big recruiting class, and you guys all had choices. You were all McDonald's All-Americans, 5-star recruits. What was it about the Ducks that drew you here?
I think just the family culture, and I know everyone always says that when they commit, but like when I came here, you kind of just get that feeling, and I felt like I really fit in with the girls and the girls that they recruited, and the coaching staff really cared about you, and it really seemed like some place, even though it was probably the furthest place from home, it felt the most like home to me. Just seeing the way that they all interacted with each other was something really special. And then this year especially, like all the girls on the team, it's been awesome, and I definitely don't regret it at all. Like I love all these girls, love all the coaches, and it's been awesome.
Yeah, it's the Cal game yesterday. Here's we're talking with you on Monday. This will air on Tuesday. But the Cal game, that just how much confidence, I guess, did that give the team?
Yeah, I think that was awesome for us because that's a good Cal team. I mean, if you break it down, they have a lot of great players on their team, and I think we definitely needed to hit some shots like that. I mean, Sydney shot the ball really well. T shot the ball really well. All of our guards shot the ball really, really well. So it was just good to kind of get that flow, especially coming into a really big week that we're having coming up with Arizona and UConn. So it was a great momentum pusher for us. So we hope to just kind of build off that and keep playing really well.
Well, Cal, I get Cal in my head. Kylie, we could talk to you for a long time here, but we're out of time. Hey, thanks for letting us get to know you, and look forward to seeing your parents out here this week. That ought to be great, and your family, and be good for you to see them as well. But keep working hard. You're a fan favorite. Fans love players who play hard, and you play hard.
Oh, thank you.
All right, there you go. Kylie Watson from Linwood, New Jersey, just across the bay. Kind of cool there by Atlantic City. All right, we got a guest here. We'll learn his name when it's Rob Moseley, editor-in-chief, GoDucks.com. That's coming up next here on Duck Insider, here in the Country Financial Studio. Back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear winter, you can't stop a new 2022 Toyota. No matter the weather, the Camry all-wheel drive comes out to play. Snowy hills don't stand a chance against the RAV4, and everyone's comfy in the Highlander. See you in the snow. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
After 2 years of construction, my wife and I finally moved into our dream home. So when a bathtub fixture broke, causing major water damage, I was glad we had the home insurance protection we needed. How do you know your home is protected? Talk to a Country Financial rep like me, Nick Simon. We can help you understand your options and select coverages to meet your needs. Then if something happens to your home, you won't have any surprises. Need the right coverage for your home but not sure where to start? Visit TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local country representative.
Dear winter, you can't stop a new 2022 Toyota. No matter the weather, the Camry all-wheel drive comes out to play. Snowy hills don't stand a chance against the RAV4, and everyone's comfy in the Highlander. See you in the snow. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt US Kids, and the Ad Council.
What is dedication?
My daughter started making necklaces. She makes what we call affirmation fashion. I tell her every day that your black is beautiful. And if there's anything better than being beautiful, it's being smart. And if there's anything better than being smart, it's being kind. And reaffirming that every day is our method of making sure her chin never drops.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Duck Insider, the Country Financial Studios. Terry Jonz in for Joey Mack, heading down to Los Angeles with Oregon men's basketball. UCLA tomorrow night, 6:30. And again, if you haven't heard, the Colorado game rescheduled, the one from December 30th, it was rescheduled to January 3rd now. January 25th, 7 o'clock. Tickets and parking purchased for original date, valid for the rescheduled date, and it's on Pac-12 Networks. Of course, Joey Mack will have all the radio action. Rob Moseley is here, the editor-in-chief of GoDucks.com. I always say the ubiquitous one because you are everywhere. And I said that once to Jerry. I think he was on with me. He made me try and spell it, and I missed the O-U-S on the end. I think I had U-S.
T-O-U-S. Yeah, I could do it.
Yeah, you got it.
I got it.
Okay. Well, that's who you are. You are everywhere. You feel that way?
Yeah, I mean, I probably need to apologize to some people if it feels like that, because some people probably wish I would go away. But no, I like what I do. So
yes, we do. We all do. We were talking about that a little bit earlier this morning, but and you do a great job at it. Okay, let's talk football first of all.
Sure.
With the new coach, national championship.
A lot of new coaches.
I was
cool.
a lot of new coaches. Yes.
I was in the stadium last night shooting a video project that we're working on with some student athletes, and the whole new staff walked out there to shoot a quick photo together. And yeah, it was a lot of people and a lot of new faces. So yeah, I got definitely some introductions to do in the coming months to get to know everybody.
Yeah, what are your thoughts? The changeover. I mean, it's always kind of difficult, and especially on the players. I mean, and with the portal available to them now, do I stay? I mean, all of it. It's tough.
It's interesting though, because I was asking. I don't think this will be talking out of turn because I won't use names here, but I was talking to a player once, like we do, some people, when fans are talking about these things, when those of us in the media world are talking about these things, you do kind of lose track of the personal relationships of that, and just that it can be traumatic for players. And I was talking to this player about that one time, and he was like, well, yeah, for some it is, but some guys don't really like their position coach. Some guys don't mind, So there is some give and take there, It's like there's different dynamics, there's different relationships that get established, and so, I think even some players sometimes look forward to a fresh start with a new staff. Like, hey, maybe I had a hard time establishing myself with in a previous coach's eyes for whatever reason, and maybe a new coach, fresh eyes, I can sort of fresh start and sort of playing myself into a bigger role. So I think for the most part though, it's a lot to deal with, regardless whether you think ultimately in the long term it's beneficial or whatever. It's a lot for players. So yeah, I mean, they're young, they're resilient, but they have a lot to process through a situation like that too. And then for those of us who have been around here long term, we're so used to for decades kind of the same faces year over year over year. I've said this before, but I'll never forget the first practice of the Willie Taggart era. I mean, I was just sort of in a daze that whole practice. Like, it was surreal, like looking around like, what is going on? Like, I'm so used to seeing Steve Greatwood coaching the offensive line and Gary Campbell coaching running backs and Don Pelham on defense and Tom Osborne coaching special teams. Like, it was really surreal. Now it's starting to feel, it probably feels for us like it's felt for a lot of places for a long time, where you're kind of used to, a little bit more of a churn year over year, even if the head coach stays the same. So, this one had, so far at least, I haven't, been out there for a practice with these guys. I'm sure the first one of those in the spring will be a little different, but probably nothing will compare to that first one, back in 17 that was just like, whoa, like it really is a new era.
Yeah, you mentioned that some kids getting a fresh start, and usually new coaches come in. I assume Coach Lanning and his staff, everybody gets a clean slate.
Totally.
So you do, like you say, you stick around. I'm sure the coaches will tell them, hey, there's no first team, second team here. I mean, maybe some pecking order, I suppose, for practice.
Everybody, any kid who earns a scholarship at this level probably has the physical talent to play a big role in the team. And then just, for whatever reason, maybe there's some fundamental technique things that you don't pick up as fast as some other guys. Maybe there's scheme, game plan type things you don't pick up as fast. Maybe there's off the field stuff and boxes that certain coaches want checked that other guys care more or less about. I mean, there's so many ways in which that player coach dynamic develops and is impacted, and the way the perception of each gets affected. And if you're a guy who isn't playing a ton, you probably feel like, hey, I could be helping this program more, and you might be thinking, all right, here's an opportunity to do that for sure. If you're a guy who has been playing a ton, I mean, you probably have that's probably earned you some credit in the eyes of the new staff, as well. So
they watch film.
It's not like it's going to be easy for a new face to break through, or else it would have happened already. But yeah, certainly you would think that there's some opportunities for guys who probably champion at the bit to get one.
I see Joey on his outline put Tosh Lupoy, so I assume he wasn't hired. You guys talked. I assume
we didn't announce that hire till earlier this week.
Yeah,
right?
So defensive coordinator coming in, and what do you think about the whole staff? I mean, it's all the pundits around the country are pretty impressed.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you think Tosh Lupoy, if there's one word that jumped to mind with him in the past, it was recruiting, right? And he has a reputation, as a lot of these guys on this staff do, is just elite recruiters. And I think if there's one thing kind of this fan base appreciated amongst more than anything about Mario Cristobal, his impact on this program is the way he reinforced that it's talent trumps everything else. If you have a lot of talented players, you have a better chance to win. And B, Oregon can recruit talented players from anywhere in the country, and can be competitive on a national level, can put together top 10 classes, and even flirt with top 5 classes. I think we all watched the national championship game that Coach Lanning coached in Monday and saw the impact of just seeing dudes up and down a roster and what that can mean.
Yeah, I mean, dudes.
Yeah.
Yes.
First, and a couple different points on that. The first being Georgia's defense. It was like watching an NFL defense. I mean, the way those linebackers ran and hit, the violence of the collisions, the way the defensive tackles moved.
Yes.
Popo, I started to think about, Popo Amovai had to be a guy watching that game going, oh man, if I get utilized that way, I wonder how impactful I can be, for as good as he's been the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Could potentially be even more so, just the way Coach Lanning uses his players, but just the talent level too, regardless of how they're being deployed, the talent level jumped off the page. And the other way that was reinforced for me is Bama. If you look at the receivers that have come out of Alabama, recently, I mean, including the reigning Heisman Trophy winner, right? And then they have the kid hurt his knee early in the game, and then they bring these just horses in off the bench who are just, freshmen that nobody's ever heard of, and it's like, wait, that guy doesn't play?
Yeah.
Like that guy's a dude.
Yep.
So, yeah, the quad, deep talented rosters are the biggest factor in success. Now, yes, you got to coach them up and all that. You got to develop them year over year. you got to scheme them in ways in games that take the best advantage of their abilities. But if you don't have talent, it's hard to be competitive. I think Coach Cristobal, I think the fan base really appreciated about the way he proved that how well he could recruit here. And obviously I think that had an impact on the profile of the coach that was going to succeed him. And Coach Lanning is a guy who's proven as a recruiter and has assembled a staff that can recruit. But the other thing about Tosh, too, to get back to your original question, is he's one of a couple different guys on this staff, too, that has an NFL pedigree. And I think that's part of the recruiting pull, too. We have guys who've coached in the league, know what it takes to succeed in the league, have been around guys who got to the league and know what the league values and is looking for, and can now come back to the college ranks and help you develop along a similar path to try to help it get you there. Because every single one of these guys, if you earn a college scholarship, you're thinking your next step is the NFL. And obviously, we want to see guys get degrees and pursue other interests too, so that they're, even if you do go to the NFL, you live a rich life with the full diverse experience. And more than likely, unfortunately, you're probably not going to make it to the NFL, so you have a really, really good option to pursue as well based on the education you get here. But they all want to go to the NFL. And so this is a staff that seems inclined to kind of know what the NFL looks for and help you build yourself up into being a player who can be considered at that level.
Yeah. I wanted to talk to you about college football playoff expansion, but we better talk basketball here. We'll run out of time.
I'm going to be honest, I have no thoughts on that.
Yeah, no,
that's just not I just sit back and watch. And it's like, you tell me how many teams are in.
Yeah, I'm how many teams, like whatever. I'm not the 4 buys. That just doesn't seem to be advancing the ball for me, but that's my thoughts. Anyway, let's talk men's basketball first. UCLA first tomorrow, and then USC.
Yeah, I mean, the Oregon men are on a nice little run. They're looking I think they've won some games in the last recent bit, and obviously they've been spread out because the COVID cancellations and pauses and all that. But have won some games recently that they might have lost maybe a month ago. And so that's good, but the level of challenge this weekend is just on another level. Actually, for the men and the women. I mean, both programs have shown some encouraging signs in recent weeks, and both programs, are just going to have to take it to another level. Now, the women got to face Stanford last week, so they have a sense of, going against Arizona and UConn this week, what they're going against. The men, obviously, they've got the experience against Baylor from early in the year, so they know what it's like to take on an elite team, and there were points of that game that were obviously very, very, very competitive. So that maybe gives some hope. But UCLA, USC, these are two of the elite programs in the country right now. And playing them on the road, even though, I don't think either one is going to have a big crowd because of some COVID restrictions in place there. So, won't be as hostile environment as it could be, but you could be playing on Mars. And if you're going against the collection of dudes either one of those teams has, that's going to be tough. Not to mention, I don't think you can breathe on Mars. It's really cold there. That would be awful.
Yeah. With the men, just this team, early on, it kind of looked like, because Dana always, late January, February, they're rolling.
Right.
And this one looked like early, this one's going to be a little tougher, it looks like, and it still might be. But you can already see the progress, like you said, though. You're starting to go now, well, maybe.
That makes it even more frustrating because, you see all the pieces, and it's like, if everything could just click, the pieces are there. And it's just, there was that team a few years ago, maybe was it the 18 team, when Elijah Brown came in and Paul White was on that team, and Peyton, was, he wasn't a freshman anymore, but he wasn't senior year Peyton yet, and that was a team too that was like, there's good pieces, but it just seems like the whole is less than the sum of its parts. And unfortunately, particularly early in the year, this team felt like that. The whole was less than the sum of its parts, which just it's maddening. And you're seeing it start to come together, but I think there's been teams, for as much credit as we give Coach Altman for that, and as much as it's earned and as much as it's right, we can't conflate it into thinking that by Pac-12 play, everything's usually clicking every year. I mean, there's been years, too, when it wasn't until like late February, early March when things were really, really rolling. And so, a little bit of grace might still be merited for this group. But, as Dana talked about after some games early in the year, you start to dig yourself a hole that gets really, really hard to get out of. And I think Kelly Graves and the women probably feel like they're in a similar situation too, that your overall resume matters a lot at the end, and that no matter how hot a streak you might get on late February, early March, if you've dug yourself a deep hole, it might not be enough to get you into the tournament. So, yeah, I mean, these next few weeks for both programs are just going to be really critical in terms of establishing where this season can go and how high the ceiling is. And both groups have in terms of just raw talent and the quality of their coaches, going into the year, the ceiling was really high. But every time you lose, the height of that ceiling drops a little bit. And it's a hard thing to raise it back up again later in the year. And that's not to say it can't happen, but again, both of them have challenges they've sort of created for themselves, and that the quality of their competition is created as well.
Yeah, this weekend's going to say a lot toward going there. All right, Rob, let you go. I know you don't have anything else to do.
No.
We'll send you back. Hey, thanks for stopping by. Good to talk to you.
I never saw the Total Recall remake. Was that worth watching? No, because I love the first one. Yeah. Don't seek out the second one? Yeah.
No?
Too good. Right.
Okay. All right. There you go. All right, we've gotten that out of the way. All right, more coming up. We'll hear from KG. Kelly Graves coming up next here on Duck Insider. After this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
As my family continued to grow, I realized I'd have to replace my beloved Jeep with something that has, well, more seats. I'm Jason Hines, Country Financial Rep and father of 7. Whether you're upgrading from your sporty ride with no room for a car seat or finally replacing your well-loved beater that still has a cassette player, you'll want the right protection for your new car. Work with a Country Financial Rep like me and get the protection you need at a price you can afford. Learn more at TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
You're listening to Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
These are the sounds of a dinner that almost didn't happen. A dinner now served, thanks to people like you. Due to COVID-19, 17 million more Americans may face hunger. Feeding America is helping our neighbors in need. And if you're able, you can too. Donations are being accepted at feedingamerica.org/coronavirus. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
It's time for today's STEM tip. Okay, you know recycling is important. No one wants plastic in the ocean. Here's a cool way to repurpose a plastic bottle. Build an awesome terrarium. Cut a large plastic bottle in half and fill the base with sand, pebbles, potting soil, and your favorite plant. I chose an African violet. Put the top of the bottle over your base and place it in the sun. Your plant will grow sealed in its own ecosystem. Fun, right? Learn more at She Can STEM. A message from the Ad Council.
All right, welcome back to the Country Financial Studio and Duck Insider. In for Terry. I'm Terry Jonz. I'm Terry Jonz, in for Joey Mack, who's heading down to California with the men's basketball team. And the Ducks women at home Saturday against Arizona, and a Monday, big Monday, against UConn. Let's hear from KG from Tip-Off Tuesday. All right, Coach, you were a little happier coming back from the Bay Area yesterday. Here's we're recording here on Monday, but a good finish to the weekend down in the Bay Area, wasn't it?
Certainly was. Yeah, we played a lot more like we were capable of playing yesterday. It was a fun game. Everybody got in. Everybody got to contribute. We shot it really well. Defended well. We really played a really good, solid game. You know, and actually I don't feel discouraged after the Stanford game too. I mean, I know we didn't win the game, and we're not into moral victories here, but I thought we competed, and for the first time out with really the whole team, even though Sedona was out, I thought we did some good things there. So it was a good weekend. I feel a lot better right now than I did last week we talked.
Yeah, maybe it would have been nice to play Cal first and then have the kind of the rust off a little bit to play Stanford, but it didn't work out that way. But back to the Stanford game, like you said, you did learn a lot. I mean, I think Tahina was able to get some rust off and figure out what she needed to do a little bit better. Certainly that showed up against Cal. But Stanford played well. I mean, Lexi Hall, she went off, and that happens. But this team, I think, grew from that game.
I think so too. I didn't know what to expect really, because obviously Stanford's a great team, and and we were, like we've talked about, we're in mid-November mode really with our development, and and it was ugly. We actually got a good start, and then they just kind of adjusted and built a nice lead, but the fight we showed. Late in that game to cut an 18-point lead to 7. I think we had on 2 different occasions the ball in that case and got relatively good shots to cut it to maybe a 2-possession game. And, then they get a little tight. You never know what happens, but it just seemed like they always had the answer. And Lexi Hull had just one of those great games, that granted a few of those threes were wide open, but, hey, NBA players shoot less than 50% corner threes wide open. So she just made them. And I noticed yesterday they were like 7 of 28 from the three-point line. So it was one of those games, and I think we could have won it. But, going out of that, I go, yay, there was more to celebrate, more to be encouraged by than discouraged.
And then the Ducks, Lexi Hall went off yesterday in Sydney Parish. Hall goes 7 of 10. Sid goes 7 of 9 for threes.
Yeah. That and isn't it funny how 2 days can make a difference? So at Stanford, we have 4 assists. I think it's got to be an all-time low, certainly in my career and in my tenure. 4 assists. I don't think we had any in the first half. And then we talk about it, we work on it in the middle day. And then against Cal, we get 21 assists, I think. We move the ball. That made the difference. That allowed Sydney to get those shots. And I think two players deserve a lot of credit. I think, number one, Tahina. I thought Tahina against Stanford was really looking, not in a selfish way. She's trying to get herself back in. So she took some shots that she could have maybe made an extra pass out of, to a shooter. And then same with Niara. There were times when Niara was double and triple teamed inside, and she could have kicked it out, and she did yesterday and got 5 assists for it. Tahina had 4 assists. So they learned, and just shows that they're coachable kids. And I told the team, and I told Niara specifically, I said, Niara, you're getting triple teamed. That's what teams think of you, right? So let's use that to our advantage. Kick it out to open people, and she did, and it was an entirely different team, I thought, yesterday than Friday.
Yeah, your triple team, that means 2 of your teammates are open somewhere, right?
Yeah, exactly, and she was smart enough to get it to him, find him.
Yeah, 5 assists for Niara yesterday. No Sedona, and I wish Sedona the best. Hopefully you'll get her back here later in the week, but you went back to the small ball kind of thing, by forced to, and it worked pretty well.
It did, yeah. We were still under some restrictions with Niara in terms of her minutes. She still can't go with the full go, and so instead of going with the double bigs, we kind of platooned those 2 a little bit. Went small, went with Sydney there at the 4, and it really worked. I thought we got good starts in both games, and and then when you're scoring 3 at a time, what did we make? 12 threes yesterday, something like that.
14.
Well, even better.
Yeah, season
even
high.
Better. It paid off, I think, this weekend.
Yeah, and it's a matchup deal. I mean, people say, well, why don't you go small ball all the time? Well, you have different matchups, and I think you mentioned in your post game with the rest of the media about Baylor when you played Baylor in the Final Four. They had that high-low and 2 bigs, and that was a problem.
It was a problem. Yeah, every game. That's why I think we can be a dangerous team, because I think we can go different ways to be successful. We can go big if we want, and then we've shown that now we can go a little bit smaller. So it gives us options. It just worked out with both of these teams because they both just play kind of one center. Stanford. Interesting. Stanford ended up matching up more to us than we did to them. I think they were having some problems in some ways. So, it's just going to be game to game, and I like as a coach to have options.
And you mentioned the limited minutes. Tahina wasn't on a minute restriction other than conditioning yesterday, you said, but the R is still on some. But it was good to see over the week, especially Stanford, where they played extended minutes. And what I was looking for going to practice, say, okay, how are they moving? What do they look like? And they looked like it didn't bother them at all. That they I'm sure they felt it a little bit, but.
Terry, I got a theory on that.
Okay.
These kids are 18 to 22-year-old. You tell me you can't play 40 minutes if they had to every game. I mean, they can't. You know what I mean? I think that's so overblown. Connecticut's done it for years. You know, they'll play his main kids. You know, he's notorious for that. Regardless of the score, they're playing a lot. But I know in Tahina's case and the R's case, they haven't practiced a lot and they're not in full shape. But I always laugh at that kind of stuff. Oh, they're, the day after, they've really played a lot. Okay.
Well, coming off an
whatever, right?
I'm just saying, coming off an injury, though. I mean,
you're nice. See, that's the thing. You're nice. I'm not. I don't want that. Oh, well, I played a lot last night. Okay. All right. Today's a new day. You just rested and you had a couple of meals and you're good to go. You're 18 years old. Think of what we were doing, big guy at 18.
Oh, I know.
You know what I'm talking about?
Right. Yeah. If you didn't have a game, you'd be out playing anyway.
Yes. That's the other, right? We played all day long. I don't want to get off on a rant here, but no, seriously. See, my son, who, I think everybody knows, plays at Gonzaga. Same thing. When he goes for a workout, it's like, you didn't even sweat. You call that a workout? They don't just go play like we did. Just play. Yeah. Just play all day. You can play. They get 2 runs in, 2 games to 15, they're done. And they get a few shots, and they consider that a workout. It's like, whoa, this is so different now.
Yeah. Well, there's phones, too. There's all the
right. Well, I don't want to go down a rabbit hole with everything, but I'm just talking in terms of just it's just different. We can play. We used to be able to play all day. Now it's all structured,
All right. we got some news here today. That of course this is Monday, but it will air on Tuesday, of course. But Arizona State game off.
Just got word, a few minutes ago. It's disappointing. There is a silver lining to it. We were going to go Thursday, Saturday, Monday. Right. The Arizonas plus UConn. So at least now we just have the 2 games. I mean, that was going to be really taxing because of the student athlete now, and then you can't play all those games. Wait, we already did that. Let's move on. So I think that's the silver lining. Unfortunately, it's disappointing because, are we going to be able to make? They've mandated that we make up games, but is this going to be one we're going to get back? I feel for our fans. Yes. We haven't had a home Pac-12 game yet. We're 0 for 3. Yeah. And it's unfortunate because we're one of the few places where we actually have a fan base. People come to our games, and so I'm disappointed for them.
Pac-12 has a plan now, making up some of the postponements.
They do on the weeks where you're not playing a Thursday, Saturday because of TV and stuff. They are making teams make up games on Wednesdays. So
in
my
a couple
guess
weeks it'll start. It sounds
in a couple weeks, yeah. So my guess is maybe that LA weekend when we're at home in a couple weeks, we'll have a Wednesday home game as well, either Arizona State, Colorado, or Utah. That's my guess. I don't know.
Right.
I think there's some rules in place. The teams that are on the bubble, they're going to try and get them extra games. Teams that obviously have missed a lot of games. See, we've only missed 2. Oregon State's missed 4. They haven't played yet. So, they might prioritize them. I don't know. But my guess is we'll get a couple of those games back at some point.
Well, it's nice. That sounds better than last year where really nothing happened.
There was there was no direction from the conference.
Yeah.
They hoped that we would make them up at the end of the season, and no one wanted to.
All right. Finish with this. Going to talk with Kylie Watson here in a few minutes. Didn't get a chance to talk to her last year. Ran out of shows, and I said, I got to get you on. So look forward to talking to her. But Kylie, one of the hardest working players I've ever seen.
Yeah, she's just she's one of my favorites. I think she's a fan favorite because of that. I think, people appreciate people that just really work hard, and she does, she got to just keep getting better skill-wise and things like that, but you can never question her effort or her heart. She's a great teammate, brilliant student. I mean, her grade point average doubled ours. She is just, she's really the whole package in terms of just a great teammate and a program person. Got a great personality. I don't know if you were on TikTok. You're not on TikTok. Never mind.
No, but I get
you a little bit?
Take a peek once in a while.
She did an impression of Sydney Parrish getting ready on a date or for a date or something. It's just classic. I mean, she's got a great personality. Her and Tahina are, like TikTok superstars. You saw them last night in the airport dancing, and people are looking at them as they go by. But she has a lot of fun, and I just I think the world of her.
Yeah. Well, that's we'll wrap it up there. That's a good way to end it. So what do you got to do now? You have anything to do? There's no game, so I mean, you're just going to relax now?
Yeah, well, we are. You know what? We are going to give the team's going to come in today and run, lift, and shoot. Today, Monday. Tuesday is our normal day off, and then we'll have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to prepare for Arizona. We'll only have one day in between to prepare for UConn, but those are two really important games. How often do you play two of the Final Four teams in back-to-back games, from the year before, and then throw Stanford in last week, and we got three of the four Final Four teams from a year ago within like an 8 or a 9 day span.
You had South Carolina and the Bahamas,
and we had that.
Yeah, so you had all of them.
We will have played all. We believe in playing the best, don't we?
That's right. It's a pretty good schedule, I would say.
Let's go.
Absolutely. All right, buddy. Hey, thanks for the visit.
Thank you.
There you go, head coach Kelly Graves. He is just such a blast, and he can go on a rant. He can do that. We let him do it. Then we got to reel him in a little bit. Okay, Coach, we better get on to something else. Speaking of coaches, assistant coach Kevin McKenna sat down with Kelly Graves. I got him on my mind. Joey Mack. I got too many names swimming around my head here today. With Joey Mack, this is Terry Jonz. I'm in for Joey Mack. He's heading to L.A. with the Oregon men's basketball team. Kevin McKenna, assistant coach, coming up next after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, our all-inclusive event pricing allows us to take care of all of the details while you enjoy your event. Our wedding garden, expansive grounds, ballroom, and meeting rooms can accommodate any size event and come complete with full catering and service staff. From weddings to business and social events, Shadow Hills offers the benefits of a resort atmosphere and the peace of a country setting just minutes from downtown Eugene. For more details, call us today or go to shadowhillsevents.com.
Money isn't interested in the fact that you dream of going to Greece, and it doesn't pace at night wondering how you'll pay for braces 3 times. The point is, money without people is just money. Only people can use it to run the family ranch, buy their first house, or adopt a happy old dog. To us, the powerful thing about money isn't money at all. It's helping you harness the power of yours. On Point. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
This is Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Neil Armstrong waited 6 hours and 39 minutes to step onto the surface of the moon. Jackie Robinson waited 20 months to play his first game with the Brooklyn Dodgers. And even DiCaprio had to wait 22 years to win an Oscar. You can wait until your destination. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking. Now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
welcome back to Duck Insider. It's Terry Jonz in for Joey Mack, the Country Financial Studio. And by the way, I see some of you saying hi on Facebook. Thank you for that. Hi. Glad to be here. But we need to hear from Kevin McKenna. He's assistant coach and talk about Oregon men's basketball.
First time this year that we've had the opportunity to talk with Kevin McKenna, Oregon men's basketball assistant coach. And, Coach, you and I were talking before we press record here this morning that it's good to be having these conversations after a win. 48 hours later than originally scheduled, but we're able to make the trip to Corvallis. You guys came away with the victory. What'd you think last night?
I thought we competed pretty well. We had our ups and downs during the course of the game, but at the end of the day, we were pretty connected in the huddles. The guys were talking, the guys were into it, the guys on the bench were great. Overall, anytime you can get a win on the road, it's a good thing. So our guys walked out of there pretty happy with what they accomplished.
What can it do for your squad now that you guys have been on the winning side of one of these close games, Coach? Because the first two losses in Pac-12 play by a combined 5 points. Then you win this one by 2 points. Had to feel nice to win a close one.
Yeah, we needed it. It's winning games, just you can gain confidence from it. And winning close games in particular. Obviously, if we could have made some free throws and eliminated a couple of easy baskets that we gave up, would have made it a little bit easier at the end. But, sometimes you get some breaks at the end and sometimes you don't. Obviously, those 2 conference losses early in the year are still stinging a little bit. But it was good, again, to beat your in-state rival for sure.
Eric Williams, I thought, stepped up in a big way, Coach. Just what can he do for your squad if he's playing like that and hitting a big three like he did to break that 74-74 tie late?
Well, not only the three, he had 11 rebounds. He was active. He was engaged. It was, to me, it was the old Eric, just playing hard, having fun, just being an athlete out there. And he's a good athlete when he applies it, and he can really, make a difference for us. And we expect that from him. He's a senior. He's been around. He knows what coach wants. He knows what we want. And he's a really good player. And I just hope he can keep building on that and gain some confidence from it and have his teammates gain some confidence in him. We're still getting to know each other. We're 15 games in, but that's all the games that a lot of these guys have played with each other.
Coach, that's what I was kind of thinking, like, as you're talking about confidence and gaining confidence from late wins, gaining confidence for guys like Eric Williams. I mean, is that kind of the chemistry that we're talking about here as you guys do kind of continue to get to know each other?
For sure. Earlier in the season when Davion made the last three that Eric hit, when Davion would penetrate, a lot of times our guys were just standing and watching him penetrate. This time Eric went all the way from the low block baseline to the top, and his man just kind of temporarily gave help, temporarily lost him, and just gave him that little bit of separation to get that shot off.
All right, there you go, Kevin McKenna. I have to cut it off there a little bit. We'll have more from him tomorrow. We hope, especially he can break down UCLA and USC. That's coming up. All right, we'll come back and wrap up the show. It's Duck Insider. Terry in for Joey. Back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
After 2 years of construction, my wife and I finally moved into our dream home. So when a bathtub fixture broke, causing major water damage, I was glad we had the home insurance protection we needed. How do you know your home is protected? Talk to a Country Financial rep like me, Nick Simon. We can help you understand your options and select coverages to meet your needs. Then if something happens to your home, you won't have any surprises. Need the right coverage for your home but not sure where to start? Visit TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Steven.
Who said
that? Me, down here.
Ugh, what are you, a yellow booger?
I'm a banana slug, Steven.
What are you doing in my room?
I'm your sense of adventure. It's been a long time since we've had an adventure in the forest.
Mom took me to the forest last year.
I'm a slug, Steven. It took me a long time to get here.
You're right. I should get out.
Yeah, the forest is not that far away.
Hey, Mom!
Come to the forest where the more adventurous you lives. Check out discovertheforest.org for cool places nearby. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
America, your children have an amazing superpower. That's right. They can help save lives by simply washing their hands. Just 20 seconds of thorough hand washing after they've coughed or sneezed or been outside can help fight against the dastardly spread of germs. Armed with only soap and water and hands, your superhero can protect you, your family, and everyone out there in America land. Amazing! Find out more at coronavirus.gov. A message from the CDC and the Ad Council.
Welcome back, Duck Insider, here in the Country Financial Studio. Terry and for Joey down with men's basketball. As by the way, tomorrow, I want to get it in real quick. Alexi Cross, Director of Women in Flight, will be with us as the 50th anniversary of Title IX, and a big announcement coming up tomorrow. You don't want to miss tomorrow's show, so tune in for that. Time now for today's 2-minute drill, brought to you by Cafe Yum. Of course, we want to reiterate, we told you earlier, but the men's basketball game against Colorado, the first December 30th, rescheduled for January 3rd, now rescheduled for Tuesday, January 25th at Matthew Knight Arena, 7 o'clock at MKA. Tickets and parking purchased for the original date will be valid for the rescheduled date, and it'll be on Pac-12 Network. Of course, Joey Mack will have all the action for you on the radio. Take a look at the rest of the schedule. Of course, Oregon men tomorrow, 6:30 at Pollard Pavilion, 6 o'clock pregame show with Joey Mack. It's on ESPN, and Dave Pasch and Dave, right? Bill Walton will be back, and that's all I got for Bill Walton to do. And I could, well, we won't go there. Okay, so. Track and field, indoor track and field. The Cougar Classic gets underway at Spokane Friday, Saturday, and I think on Sunday. Men's tennis at Boise. Women's basketball at 2:30 Saturday against number 7 Arizona. 2 o'clock pregame show on the Oregon Sports Network, and I think that is only Pac-12 Oregon and Arizona. So if you don't have that, well, you could always stream it, I guess, if you have, as long as you've got that. But and then on Monday it's UConn. 2 o'clock, that's an ESPN 2 game. More men's basketball on Saturday. I skipped over that. 8 o'clock, they will take on USC at the Galen Center. If you're thinking about going there, if you're fans, Duck fans down in the LA area, it's family only at both of those venues this week. So there you go. There's a 2-minute drill brought to you by Cafe Yum, restaurants throughout Oregon and Washington, where special diet requests and custom orders are always welcome. Menus and nutrition info at cafeyum.com. All right, Title IX celebration tomorrow. See ya.
Watch out! You got me!
The galaxy is safe once again.
In the pretend universe, kids play with pretend guns. In the real world, it's up to us to make sure they don't get their hands on a real gun. If you have a gun in the house, keep it locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.